Warning, this video is intended for adult collectors. It contains plastic collectibles, questionable opinions, and a guy that loves his Japanese noisemakers. Incoming random review in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome once again to another Legacy Wave 1 review, and this time we have my personal favorite Insecticon, Kickback. Admittedly, probably not the favorite of most, but I always liked how he looked better than any of the others. It's the one I had growing up that wasn't broken, so I've always had a special place in my heart for the Kickback. So when he gets a new toy, I grab the new toy. Hey, I'm the one with the prototypes of his last toy, remember? So, this I was thrilled to find out about. To get it in hand... Alright, different story. Alright, so first off, it's a big old grasshopper mode. Looking very G1. Looking very G1. It is stark black plastic with some hits of purple here and there, and a little bit of yellow going through him as you know, on the back, as well as the antennae. You get a little bit more detail in the legs. You see a little bit of yellow and a little bit of red, and then of course all the bug legs are done up in purple as much as the mold is allowed. So deco-wise, very much like the original toy. No real surprises going on here. He has a new style to his wings, is in defiance of the more, the more like kind of organic-y wing shape that he had in Titan's Return, and definitely not the G1 chrome blades. Here we have kind of a blend of the two. So you can see that it has more of an organic pattern to it, but it's also in that familiar blade shape. When we get to robot mode, I do have one little quibble with it, but it's a very minor quibble. But yeah, as you can see, he is just straight up just like the G1, about as simple as a grasshopper as you can get. Right down to the head just being like his normal robot head, just tucked away. There's just a little mask covering it up now. Now there is a little bit more playability in this mode. Because it is, just basically the robot mode with some extra limbs hanging off of it. So all the robot mode articulation is available to you. You can have like these little hinges and this double hinges, so you can have the bug legs moving about and try and figure out something else to do with them. You can get a few poses out of him. Hey, even these little bitty feeties, these little itty bitty feeties, these are ball jointed. So you can do a little bit more with that if you so choose. But, as it is, what do you expect? It's Kickback. It's G1 Kickback to a T. If I brought out the G1 toy, and I should have brought out the G1 toy for it, it is extremely comparable. So, what I do feel like is a compensation for how simple he is just the overall size of him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches long in the bug mode. A little bit longer if you stretch his legs out as far as they can go. He does have a size to him, and we'll get to that in the robot mode as well. But this, something. If you want a little bit of playability, he does come with these big energy wing blades. They have tabs on the sides, so you can actually peg them into place. Come on, like so. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Try to line it up. It's clear plastic and clear plastic. So it's a little bit hard to see. But that guy gives him a more of an energy wing effect if you want to go for that. Spice him up a little bit. He also has his own little blaster. Now, the ports on him are actually pretty plentiful. 1 on the side of the leg, 2 up here on the bug legs, and then a 7th and an 8th right there. Also, if you have those attachments attached on, you not only have a peg on each one, but also 2 more ports. So he does have plenty of places for upgrades. But it is port number 9, or port number 11, no, port number 14? Port number 13. It's either 9 or 13, depending on if you count those energy blades, where I feel like his gun fits best in this mode, and it looks okay enough underslung like that on the bottom of his body. You know, it works well enough. We'll give it that. All right, so I will go ahead and put the gun aside. We will go ahead and dismantle these. And now I guess it's time to put him in the robot mode. Oh, before we continue, you will notice that this is hinged in the same spot as the original G1 toy. To my knowledge, and after numerous attempts, I cannot get this to open like the original G1 toy, even though it is hinged like so. It definitely feels like it's stuck in place. It's not supposed to move. I'm not sure why they made a hinge there for it if it's not going to move. But if it does, it feels uncomfortable on mine. I'm not going to force it. Let's put it that way. Okay, so let's get him to robot mode, such as it is. I'm going to rotate the little itty bitty feetsies. We're going to rotate those around, tuck them down, and then send them into the back side of the legs. And then fold out the robot mode feet like so. Move over to his back, where I'm going to flip this mask back down. Ow. It is quite tight. Alright. Back into that little cavity. The head antenna are fully painted, so they're going to be a little bit paint stuck when you first try it. Give them a little bit of gentle wiggle back and forth just to break the paint. And that should allow you to put it in a more natural position for the robot mode and let you move them a little bit more freely so you can flavor him as you will. And then I'm going to rotate his head around like so. Robot mode hands fold out from the underside, and then just close that up like so. Take him around to the front. I'm going to rotate both the wing and the arm at the same time to get them into their proper position. And that's basically it. Not a complex figure, this Kickback. This Kickback is straight up G1 style. This is very much what you would call a G1 figure with more articulation. Granted, he's much bigger than the original Kickback toy, but there really isn't, like, they didn't reinvent the wheel here. Much as I would have liked to see like an actual insect head flip out and replace the robot mode head, you got like the core body here that's supposed to open up according to the G1 toy, but unfortunately has no function like that. Really do wish they had done a little bit something different. Give me a little bit more transformation element. Is what it is though. I still like him. I still like Kickback, so we'll go with it. Credit where credit's due. The head sculpt is very, very nice. He is very much the original Insecticon from the cartoon. Really, really digging how it looks. So, nothing wrong with that. Like, sculpting-wise, they've been nailing the heads on these legacy figures so far. And there, yeah, you get to see big, bold Decepticon symbol right there where you expect it to be. Now, looking him over, no real shock when I tell you there's no new details revealed outside of the face. You've seen all the new details already. I do like that you do have a little bit more prominent detail here. You can actually see in the chest, it is done the way classic Dinobots are, with they're translucent on the outside and then painted internally, so you have a layered effect. You even remembered a tiny bit of blue to replicate a little bit of his G1 stickering. Not a bad little touch. Overall, like, yeah, he is very much just what you would expect out of just a Kickback. Like, he's basically a Kickback red figure. He transforms as much as one, at least. What I do like about him, and what I will give credit for, is he's got size to him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5.5 inches at the height of the horn, and then of course even longer if you go all the way to the top of the wing. So there's something about Kickback that just feels bulkier than the other figures. If I put him next to Dragstrip, it doesn't look it. But there is just something about the way he feels and the way he looks, it's just in hand, that it just feels like he's a much beefier figure than the rest. You do see thicker arms, thicker thighs, and all that. You know, so there is something to say about just how much girth there is to him as an Insecticon. And because of the way he transforms, I will give credit, there is almost no hollowing on this figure whatsoever. You know, there is the forearms, which we forgive because that's where his hands tuck away. But the only real hollowing I could find is going to be on the inside of the thigh. You'll notice the back of the leg is solid and full of robot mode parts and plastic. The back is solid. The arms, the arms are solid. All the way through, this just feels like a beefy, heavy figure. For at least for its price point. I feel like that is where we make up for the lack of complexity going on here. Now, for those who know that it is me, and we are worried about translucent plastic, I will say it is a very tight hinge that holds these wings in place. So there's a lot of friction going on, a lot of stress going on. That said, it is very thick plastic. It is going to take quite a bit in order to actually break these or do real harm to them. So I am optimistic that these are going to survive. My only grievance here is the fact that they felt the need to add this angle to it. I like G1 kickback blades going straight up. Now keep in mind, I'm looking at mine over there, and from here I can't tell if that angle is classic, part of the original design or not. So I could be completely off base about that. Alright, so articulation-wise, head rotates 360 degrees. It's on a ball joint, so it has a little bit of wiggle room if you need it for anything else. Universal shoulders extend off of these. This is one reason why these are so tight. So you have unrestricted motion in the shoulders without accidentally moving the wing blades. Bicep rotation, which considering this arm has to split for the beast mode legs, actually kind of impressive. You also have a double jointed elbow, so he has 180 degrees of range there. Nothing in the wrist this time. Alright, full rotation at the waist. Hip joints are universal all the way around. Thigh rotation works really well. 90-degree bend there at the knee. And then there is the ankle tilt. It's a nice one too that doesn't have this weird gap on the outside of the leg. So, Hasbro has not really been skipping out. There's very few figures that suffer and do not include all the articulation you would expect. I'm very, very happy that so far Legacy seems to hold up to that. All the points of articulation that we've become just accustomed to are present. If you want to arm him up a little bit more, his gun does look very, very nice in his hand. Do like it. Just about the right size. Now, if we want a little bit bigger weaponry, we do have those energy blades. We do have all the ports from the insect mode are still available here, so we have plenty of spots for everything to plug in. Also, spots on the underside of the feet, as well as a few on the back. There's actually one here at the base of his spine, if you can figure out a way to use that. I know there's clever people that can use those weaponizers and fossilizers. But yeah, these do have extra ports, so you can actually mount them in his arm, so you have a big energon blade, or mount on the forearms, and can also form an energon blade. Unfortunately, these don't really, these do kind of stack, so you can combine them into a super weapon. It doesn't look terribly great, but you can do it if you so choose. So you got that going for you too. As I said last time, combining weapons always a plus. So that is my look at Legacy Kickback. He is a simple boy. He is just such a simple boy, but something endearing about that to me. I admit bias. I admit bias because I really, really like G1 Kickback. I really like the look of the toy. I like the color layout. I like the huge blades. But I will fully admit, if you're looking for a transformation experience, this ain't it. This is ultimately a boring figure as a transformer. That is to say, it's entirely accurate to the original Kickback toy. So if you're completely fine with that, you basically know what you're getting. So thank you guys for watching. I hope this informed, and hopefully you guys are having some luck finding Legacy out there, because it's apparently out, and we enter a new phase of Transformers once again. Join me I'll be talking about the next phase a little bit more in my next video. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.